What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy NXTGEN720. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mooch. And I know I just did a video on this by myself. But I got Mooch reached out to me, so I'm gonna let you guys hear what do you think about this bullshit that's going on over here. Like I said, I mean, if you watch my video, if not, I'll leave a link. You can hear I'm probably gonna repeat some of the things that I said, but he may have a different opinion than I felt. So
I got home a little late today. The only time I was not.
Hold that thought. Let me pause the video in the background. Hold on. There we go. And I know I just did. All right, I'm sorry. Here we go.
That's all good. I got home late. I checked my Twitter and I saw all the shit going down with Tomb Raider. And so I hit Zaire up right away and I said, "Z, what's this all about?" And he's like, "There's some bullshit happening right now." So I read up on it, caught up a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked too. And the first thing I said to Zaire was, why are we talking about this today? Why are we talking about this now? This is the kind of information, if it had to come out contractually, it could have came out a week after the game was released, after the consoles were sold, after the game was sold, after money was made. That's when you pop that surprise, be like, okay, and we got it for a year. I was telling Z offline that I personally think that Microsoft is not even in on this. I think something leaked. I think something happened. I think heads are going to be rolling. We're going to see some Square Enix firings in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I want to be, could they go to because honestly, we're talking about millions of dollars that are at stake.
Absolutely.
Consoles,
NDAs
console
in place,
sales,
all kinds of
you
shit.
know what I mean? So I who again, and this is not me damage control. Look, I still feel the way I feel. I'm just talking about the way it was done. It was very unprofessional. When you think about Microsoft, think about, I'm just saying they have a level of professionalism with them and the things that they do. We're talking about the middle of the week, about, an odd time, 12, 16 in the afternoon, whatever time it came out. I don't who does this, and I don't want to, talk about the conspiracies and, Japanese companies stick together. I don't know. I don't know what to chalk this up to, but it smells bad,
Yeah, no, there's nothing out there, too, Z. There's nothing out there that we've seen that shows we haven't seen nothing. Has anything, you tell me now, I'm trying to do all my homework in the past hour when I got home. Has there been anything from Microsoft on this? Anything?
No. Well, Aaron Greenberg, because I didn't think it was real.
Right.
He tweeted it out also that, Square Enix announced today or whatever, basically what we all heard.
Okay.
So it's true, because everyone's talking, the whole Twitter, the whole gaming world is talking. Here's my thing, and what I don't understand. I've always said this in time and time again, especially on the podcast. I said I don't pay Microsoft as being liars. They usually, up front. I'm not saying no company is perfect, no company doesn't have this shit with them. It's a company. I get it. They're not our friends. They're here to make $1. How much at the end of the day. But when Phil said in that same interview, he said, "No, I'm not trying to mix my words." He said, "My deal is for this one game. Our deal is for this one game only. I saw an opportunity to, add a game to our portfolio that we may have been lacking for this year, or whatever the case may be. Whether they thought Uncharted was coming out this year or not." And he said, he said, I dealt with this one game only, and that he wouldn't invest in an IP to make it better on a rival platform. He said, think of it as the deal he did with Dead Rising and Rise, which came to PC. I've always said this is going to come to PC, which came to PC 6 months later. But, it didn't come to the PlayStation 4. Because, like I said, Microsoft has also helped making this game. They're there in the trenches with them, making the game. So I
was with you, Z. Now, listen. When Phil gave that report there, he was sitting down. He what was it in Game Informer, whatever it was in. That's irrelevant. When he did that, I was right behind you. I was like, I'll buy that bridge too. Let me buy that shit right behind. I was buying everything he said. But the one thing that made me turn my head a little bit, I was just like twisted, like, what the fuck? When we saw E3 and it said holiday again on the bottom, when it said holiday exclusive, that's when I started thinking something was funny. Because now, okay, remember when he announced holiday the first time? They announced holiday the first time at Gamescom last year. That was before the Windows 10 event. That's before the DX12. That was before the Gamers Conference and all this other stuff that went on the Builders Conference, all this other shit that went on this year. So I said, okay, when E3 comes, we're going to get that same surprise we got with Titanfall where they scoop it up. And then again at E3, we're all sitting there together watching it, and it said holiday exclusive. And we were all like, wait a minute. We're only 4 months away from this thing releasing, 5 months away from this thing releasing, and we're still talking holiday. And we know Microsoft's already preached the whole PC back and forth thing. So when I saw holiday, I did start to scratch my head a bit. Now, some people are going to call this damage control. Call it what you want. But I was talking to Zaire offline. I'm going to let the public know this. As much as this is not letting Microsoft off the hook, but I'm just talking about what is actual reality. What if I told everybody listening right now that's an Xbox fan that in March 2016, you get your very own Bloodborne? You don't give a shit. So my whole point is this. After the 100 episodes...
Or Demon Souls.
No. I'm trying to say, what if Bloodborne came to Xbox One March 2016, a year after it came out on PS4? We don't give a shit. That game's come and gone. There's been 1,000 Let's Plays, 1,000 who's playing, 1,000. We've seen the end on YouTube. Here's my point. Z, when Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out this Christmas, it's going to be in everybody you know's neighborhood. It's going to be on every YouTube channel. They're going to have the live discussions about it. It's going to be broken down left, right, upside down, and backwards again. By the time they get it on PS4, really, to be honest with you, if I was GameStop, I'd take that new PS4 one and put it right in the used section because we've already gone through that. It's yesterday's news. It's old. It doesn't make no difference anymore. So I think
that's
a little. And don't get me wrong, that's not belittling what you're saying. So you're right. Everything you said is 100% right. Like I do agree with you that it's kind of bullshit. The whole thing is kind of.
Once we got to stop with this. We're going to be on to something new come next year. I mean, if you wait, it is a long time to wait. But what I'm saying is, this is at the end of the day. What I'm saying, all that's a valid point, Mooch. But what I'm saying at the end of the day is that the reason why I would think Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo and do these second-party deals, these third-party deals, is to sell hardware to attract new customers from Nintendo or from Sony.
You're right.
To their platform to get an Xbox One. That's that's the whole reason why, to get them on the Xbox ecosystem here, the Microsoft ecosystem here.
No, the point is to sell hardware. You're right.
Yeah. Who the fuck makes an announcement that is coming? You're saying exclusive holiday 2015. You've been quiet about all this long before the goddamn game launches.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and I understand now that you filled me in a little bit. I do understand that Aaron Greenberg did the tweet. I think he did that tweet to save face with the relationship, but I still think that this was done impromptu. It was not done. It was not planned. I bet you Microsoft saw that and thought, what the hell? Who the hell said that? What's going on? Somebody get out there real quick. Get Aaron on there. Have him tweet out, yeah, we expected that to come out. There's no way. There's not anything in any business where you have a planned exclusive for a year and you're going to release that information 4 months before. But like I said, when it comes down to it, when it really comes down to it, see, the leaked information is what costs Microsoft millions of dollars. You're right. Whatever happened today cost Microsoft a lot of money because a lot of people now know what's going on. They might wait for it. They might not. Like you said, true gamers are going to go buy it day one. But the casual gamer who's kind of on the fence about should I get this or should I get another console? Should I buy that Xbox One? You're right. They're going to lose that customer possibly. I think what Microsoft was thinking, taking a step back, forgetting about today now that we just know the plan, the next 12 months was coming down the pipe. Microsoft's plan was basically I think they were trying to test the waters with the IP, see how it went. And the other thing I was telling Zaire offline, and this is a bit of a stretch, but hear me out, everybody. Microsoft, if you read the Game Informer magazine that came out in March of this year when they did a full behind the scenes of Tomb Raider, there's multiple times the developers mentioned that Microsoft came over and did programming and coding with them. There's a good chance that Crystal Dynamics may not be the ones making the PlayStation 4 port. And I'm calling it a port on purpose because the 360 is going to get this game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it's not being made by Crystal Dynamics. So the PlayStation 4 may get their own medicine, a 1080p, 30 frame per second port of the 360 version. That's the Mooch prediction. So what I'm saying is Phil Spencer's words may not go unjustified. He may be justified because he said, "I'll be damned." Basically, let me paraphrase it. I'll be damned if I want to put my money into something that's going on to another. So what you're going to see, the beautiful game, the gorgeous game, playing at such a smooth frame rate, all that good, that's Xbox One and Xbox One alone, possibly PC. But the PS4, I think myself personally, is going to get the port, the 1080p 30 frame per second port of the 360 by company B, whoever's making that one. So now don't get me wrong. Does that help the face of what we're talking about? No. Microsoft still looks bad. This looks bad. But when it comes down to it, we're consumers. What are you going to get in your hand at the end of the day? When you go to the movie theaters and you forgot to go to the drugstore and go get those Twizzlers, you're getting the ripcords. Okay? You're not getting Twizzlers. So when you got the PlayStation 4 version, you got some ripcords. It's all right. Look, man, that's what it comes down to. So if you're still a gamer and you still want to get the game, you get it on the Xbox One. I think that's what you're going to see, you know, and that's how it boils down. That's my take on it. You know, the other thing I was saying just a second ago is in this game, Showstopper said it best. We're in a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am right now, okay? Games come out, games get old. Games get old fast. So what is the latest game that came out? Batman. Batman just came out. Batman's already old. I was asking somebody, hey, what did you think about the Batmobile? He was like, what? You don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Batmobile, is there something coming out on Netflix? And I was like, no. So I said, like, nobody's even paying attention to that shit. Chris,
no, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be bad for the next couple of weeks. Now, the only other thing I can think of is if everybody jogs their memory, and it's a little different here because the actual developer came out in this case and said this. So it's a little different. But if you guys remember Vince Zampella with Titanfall, when he was asked, is this going to come to PlayStation? He kept saying, you know, look, we love all consoles. We keeping everything, you know, like you say, we keeping everything fresh right now and everything. And then out of nowhere, Microsoft just was like, boom, threw Peter Moore a check, some fat check. And he was like, okay, that's it. It's done. Xbox only. Who knows? Right now, Phil Spencer's probably on the phone being like, what do you think you're going to make? We all know what these games make, right? You know how many we sell? Like Bloodborne, the big hit, Bloodborne. It sold 1 million. Yeah, okay. So let's say this sells a couple million. What's PlayStation 4 going to sell a year afterwards? Maybe what? Maybe going to make about 10 million on it? Maybe 9 million? Okay, excuse me, Crystal Dynamics will make on it, or Square Enix. Microsoft might just cut a check right now for $10 million and be like, you opened your mouth. You went against the NDA. Somebody squealed. Now, listen, take this 10 million, be happy I'm giving you 10 million, and it's never seen the light of day on PS4. Who knows? You can't shrug that off. You can't just say, oh, that's Mooch just going off on his little fanboy shit.
They better do that now. That's
what I'm saying. It might happen now. We might hear about it on Gamescom. Gamescom might come out. Phil Spencer's like, that's it. It's ours. Exclusive. All he's got to say is exclusive, and it's over with. It's done. But will they do that? I don't know. Phil Spencer doesn't seem like that guy.
No, he's not Don Mattrey. He's not Matty Patty. He's not Matty.
No, he ain't Don.
Damn nice. You know, but again, you know what? Here's my thing. You know, and I'm gonna say this again. You know, regardless of what you might say about Sony, their financial situation. You know, but what they did with Capcom, they went in there, they sold up the deal. That doesn't, you know, whether you're a Street Fighter fan or not, cool. It can have been Dragon Ball Z. It can make a difference. Regardless, you know, regardless, forget the title. But we're talking about doing a business move with a third or second party developer, whatever, with Capcom. You know, they took a multi-plat game that usually, you know, multi-platform, went in and got the deal done. They looked at what Microsoft may have did with you know, Tomb Raider. Say, oh, not to be outdone, let's go in. You know, they saw a chance to get Street Fighter, and what they did, they went in there, sold up the deal. Capcom, not Sony. Capcom came out. First thing I said, well, maybe, you know, the Xbox might get the Ultra Fight Mix Edition or something. They came out and said right away, this Street Fighter V would not see the light of day on the Xbox One or any other console. That's all I've been saying is go in there and close the goddamn deal. Get it done.
Yeah.
Because I give Sony shit for these DLCs. And don't get me wrong, you're right. A year from now, Xbox fans are not going to give a fuck. Is this what's going on right now? You're trying to sell consoles in 2015, right?
Right.
You know, so this kind of blew up in your face. And it seems like, Microsoft was on a date with this bitch, got all hot and ready, and the bitch was straight back home to her husband. Got all warm, got all seduced, all loose. Got finger popping the bitch, and she goes back to her husband.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But that's like I said again. I don't know who let this come. Like, to me, it seems very, very unprofessional the way that it was done.
Well, that's it, Z, right there. That's where the conversation should start. That's where the conversation should start. And only me and you and a handful of others are going to start right there. Everyone else is just going to start the fanboy bullshit. Right there is what it is. It is very unprofessional. And the one thing that you have said earlier on this podcast, and you said it on other ones, is that Microsoft comes off as a very professional, well-mannered. They don't fire back. They don't talk nasty. They don't tweet back nasty. Even when people have made allegations to them, there's no way in hell this was condoned by Microsoft. So what I'm saying is there's a couple things that are going to happen here. Square Enix is going to have to pay up some kind of money or give something back or whatever, because they did break some sort of NDA or whatever was in place. Think about it this way, Z. Why on what the hell is today? Let me just look at this real quick. Okay, it's July 23rd. So July 23rd is the day that Microsoft said, you know what, on Square Enix, you feel free on July 23rd, 2015. You just say whatever the fuck you got to say. Go ahead, lay it out there. They didn't say that. They didn't say that. So my point is, somebody squeaked this out. So now one of two things is going to happen. A couple things, not two. Heads are going to roll at Square Enix. That doesn't do nothing for us or anybody else or Microsoft. Microsoft's going to get a deal in place to be able to lock this down exclusively for a small chunk of change because they already broke the contract. Or Microsoft's going to be basically making some sort of sanctions against them, and they're like, we're not doing business until you make something up for this, because basically what you did was you ruined my holiday sales. And listen, let's be honest. I don't think it really ruined a whole lot.
No,
if I'm Microsoft,
to the court, they can drag their ass.
That's my point. If I'm Microsoft,
Squares ain't got the money like that.
I'm gonna make it sound like you hurt me real bad. I'm gonna make it sound like you hurt me real bad.
Maybe it's not for real. Like, it's one.
You seen Friday, right? He's like, I hurt my neck and my back, but I'll sell a lot of corn for $20. All right. Listen, man, I'll tell you right now, that's the way it is, man. That's the truth. They got to show up. They got to show up, and they got to like you say, flex your muscles. Microsoft, $300 billion with a B.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna say this, and not to say that maybe so. Like, again, I just whoever is as backwards down southern shit as Nintendo does, dating their first cousin on their mama's side, all the crazy shit that Nintendo does. No voice chat, but they did a deal with Platinum Games. Bayonetta 2. It's not coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Only way, like I said, would take off, because they said they did have some unannounced games to be announced at Gamescom. And it was also rumored that, quote unquote, that they supposed to have some more, another deal with a major third-party game, heavily rumored. If they come out and their show to know, because their show to no one talked about this last month, and we all kind of blew it off, whatever. Or they also said that Microsoft bought Silent Hill. We didn't hear anything about that. And they come out and say that Microsoft Film come out and say that they got the Silent Hill deal. They got to do something to take the sting off this right here. Because don't get me wrong, I know we talk about these consoles like they're our favorite sports team. Let's be real. We all fanboyed out to a certain extent, and and in us as Xbox gamers, whether you're a PlayStation gamer, whether you're a Wii or Nintendo gamer, we like to talk about our exclusives. The multiplex you get anywhere. Nintendo doesn't get it, but the Wii U owners doesn't get it. But multiplex, you get that anywhere. But we talk about these exclusives like that's our badge of honor. Well, we got this. What do you guys got? What are you gonna be playing this holiday season? You know what I mean? That's this what we do to kick
That's
the
what
shit.
it comes down to. You're right.
Yeah, this is our barbershop talk here. This
right. That's right.
This is what I mean. And so it felt like we just lost an exclusive.
Yeah.
And had this came out 6 months from now, 7 months from now, who fuck playing? We don't give a fuck about the Tomb Raider. We'd have brushed them off and went about our business, right? And been on to something new. But to announce this before, we're talking about 3 to 4 months before the goddamn game comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not that right there. I'm 37 years old. I've been a gamer all my life. I've never seen a move like this done ever in my life. When Microsoft had to deal with Ubisoft with far Splinter Cell, the first Splinter Cell came out on the original Xbox first. You know what I mean? Microsoft was promoting so on in front of, you know what I mean? Just any other. You didn't, you know, come with Square Enix didn't come out. Sorry, Ubisoft didn't come out. Well, we're going to release it on the PS2 such before the Xbox version came out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, like you just don't do business like that because they're promoting. Microsoft is promoting this. You see that Tomb Raider on their sizzle reel on TV commercials.
Right.
Sit on their new box art. They're promoting the game.
Yeah.
You know. Well, and let's be clear. This it's not that. And you say, well, Square Enix they want to turn their back on 22 million in house. No. When Microsoft is cool, they're publishing the game. They help develop the game. Mm-hmm. So, really, you know, all they have to do, they're advertising. That's where the money go, the big budget go, and advertisement dollars, magazines. Microsoft is taking care of all that. All Square Enix and Chris, they have to sit back and put their feet up and collect the check. It's a win-win for them. You know what I mean? Microsoft is going to use this to sell some hardware. You know, to sell the software. You know, I mean, once you buy, you know, once you get, you know, if they were to lure some PlayStation fans away from, you know, Sony, you know, come on, let's be honest. At the end of the generation, most people are going to own both platforms, unless you're some broke, destitute motherfucker. You know, and I don't believe at the end of the day, we are all gamers. Let's be clear that. You know, you say this biasing because you can't really afford to buy both consoles. So that's where the hate comes from. But if you can afford both consoles, you're gonna own them both. Let's be real with this. You know what I mean? At the end, like I said, you know, I'm not gonna be at home like goddamn, I want to play that God of War 5, but damn, I hate Sony. Nah, I'm gonna go buy me a motherfucking PlayStation. I'm gonna play God of War 5. I'm still gonna pop my shit, but I'm gonna play the goddamn game. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the end of the day, we don't play names, we play games. All that you don't want to buy it because it's on the right. I don't want to buy it because it's on Microsoft, and that's bullshit. You can't afford it. Keep it real. Your money's fucked up, and you know it's just we come up with spewing hate. Let's call a spade a spade. That game right there looks scalebound, looks awesome. I'm not going to buy it because Microsoft's had DRM. Nah, you can't afford it. Let's keep it fucking real. Your money fucked up. You're waiting to go on sale, or you maybe waiting for another game to buy. You know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. We are all gamers. We don't play names. We play games. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You may have your favorite team that you root for, your favorite piece of play. All that's well and good. But at the end of the day, we still play games. You know, and if you can afford them, like in the last generation, most people owned the PS3 and the 360. Regardless of what you made, you know, the majority of your gaming on, you still owned, you know, both consoles. So most people owned all three consoles. There was no, think about this, Mooch. There was no losers last generation. There's in the history of gaming, there has never been a generation as successful as last generation.
Right.
The PS3, 86 million. The Xbox 360, over 90 million. The Wii, over 115, 120 million. There's never in the history of gaming, there never been so many goddamn, you know what I mean, consoles sold.
That's right.
Never. You know, so then there's 300 million goddamn consoles sold between everybody. There were no losers. You know what I mean? So, but what I'm saying at the end of the day is Microsoft is, you know, trying to steal away some Nintendo fans, some Sony fans, and how they, let's be real, how they make their money is through software sales, through royalties, you know, especially through multiplats. What does it cost them any money to advertise? We still get a check. You know what I mean? That's a free money. You got to pay me to put your game on my platform. You know what I mean? That's like getting, you know what I mean? You got to pay, you know, Square Enix, Activate, they got to pay licensing fees, royalty fees to put their their Call of Duties, their Battlefields, whatever, on the Xbox or on the PlayStation. That's how they make their money. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But this right here, like I don't know what, you know, there are MPDs in place for certain reasons, and it seems very funny to me that everyone's so quiet, so tight-lipped about it, whether you knew it was a term exclusive or whatever the case may be. You know, you still didn't know quite sure was it. We know everything was going to PC, but you didn't know what was going to the PlayStation 4. So what? I'm going to wait 9 months to see what's announcement. I'm going to go ahead and buy this now. I want to play Tomb Raider. That's what Microsoft was counting on.
That's what I'm saying. So taking everything you just said into account, now let me ask you a question. A couple questions. Do you or do you not think this was leaked?
It was leaked. Hold that door. Hold on. A couple later. Hold on.
Okay.
1 second.
So this is my opportunity, I guess, to hang out on the most popular channel, Next Gens. So instead of having dead air, No, what I was going to get into with Z was I do think that this had. Hey Z, I hope you don't mind. I took over your channel for a hot minute. Yeah. So no, I was saying I'm on the most popular channel. I said I'm on hosting Next Gen's channel for a second there. I got really excited. No, what I'm saying is that something definitely behind the scenes went haywire. Now, there's people. I'm reading all kinds of things, and I know nobody likes to get into conspiracy theory, but we did have Peter Moore on that show on IGN talk about how there was that espionage shit. Okay,
tell me about it.
So if there was the espionage shit going on back then with the scratch discs theory, there is some stuff circulating on Twitter, and it's Twitter, folks. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm no lawyer, okay? I'm just trying to tell you what I'm reading.
Someone who's lost their job today or something.
I'm just hearing that people, like, it could have been maybe someone from the Sony camp kind of got into someone's ear, said you should maybe say something, or pull that information out somewhere, and it leaked out.
Or maybe someone might have got fired, got the ass reamed out by their boss.
Right, or that right there. I'm just saying, if we're going to go down every avenue, we surely know that July 23rd, 2015 wasn't the day the NDA was supposed to be released. Who wrote that? What lawyer wrote that with a pirate patch over one eye?
You're gonna say it's coming out to the PS4 before our game comes out? No. Now, just listen, ladies out there in YouTube land. Before you call me and Mooch the biggest ex-bodians they are in the world, what we're saying is this. I've said this before. Microsoft is, fuck all that timed shit. Do the deal, get it done, lock it up. You know what I mean? Put it in the bag. Especially, like I said, this doesn't sit right with me. Especially when you had, I forgot the name of the little company that was doing Phantom Dust. They needed an extra $4 or $5 million to get the game done or whatever, and you tell them no, and you're spending millions of dollars on something that's going to come to you. You know what I mean? So that right there doesn't sit well with me. And I don't get me wrong. I know Phantom Dust is no way as big as IP as Tomb Raider, but I'm just saying, or even the other game that they showed at E3 2013, Shanghai Heist, when they got like old Splinter Cell type game that Black Tusk was, doing. If you're gonna invest in your own shit, then you know what I mean. This right here really blew up in their face. I don't know how it went so incredibly wrong. Because it really seemed like he spit in Xbox gamers' face, because especially if it goes to the PS4 which comes next year, and it rumored they're supposed to get it for $40. What you know what I mean? Like god damn, we paid $65 for ours. They get it next year for $40. Like god damn, what the fuck is this?
Yo, if that holds water though, Z, if that you just made me smile on this side of the microphone. I'll tell you why. $40 a year from now, you spell port, P-O-R-T. They are not getting what we're going to be getting. Listen, if it's less money, don't say because it's old. To them, it's new. They're going to get a game for less money, and they're going to get it a year after. They're going to get a 360 port over in 1080p. Period. That's my prediction. Now, I don't even know if we'll ever find that out, but not until we look at the back of the box and we see who made it. But I'm saying until that day comes, we may not know. But I'm telling you, that's what my thought on it is. Maybe that's the reason Phil Spencer said he didn't mind, this eventually going to the PS4. He definitely didn't want it released today. Listen, we've only seen Phil Spencer smiling and waving at people like he's running for office. Smiling or happy right now. I guarantee it. I guarantee that with everything I know, he is not a happy man. People in Microsoft are not happy. Aaron Greenberg did that tweet because he had to. He's the face. He's the guy. That's his job. His job is to make sure everything looks good. You know what I mean? Like it was planned. That shit was not planned. Do you realize, Z, that since this game was announced last Gamescom, this has been the most interesting subject? What happened behind the scenes? What did Microsoft plan for exclusivity? How long was that exclusivity going to last? And now the book is real. Now the chapters are flying open. Who released this information? Who said that it could be released on this? Are they going to get sued? What's going to happen? This is like the biggest. I think this is probably one. Maybe this is something.
Watergate or some shit.
Yo, people are talking about it all day. They're going to be talking about it for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
So maybe
and I think this was really what's going on here. The way that it came out, it wasn't. It wasn't released on some major, website. It came from some little sleazy small website. It wasn't. It wasn't an IGN. You call it an interview or something like that, or give me another AOL Yahoo News interview. It was some I don't know. I seen on some little Gamer Nuke or one of those small sites like Gaming Book Structoid or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, but shout out to Warrior Boy. He put his feel like Laura Croft woke up and sneaked out the door and stealing the money out from the wallet. When they left Microsoft sleeping in bed, they went and got a room, a one night stand. You know, left Phil Spencer in the bed, sleep, stole his money in his wallet and left out the door. Yeah, that's crazy though. You know, like we're sitting, we laughing, we're joking, but
yeah,
you know, and what I'm saying again, like I said, Microsoft should have closed the deal. You know, my thing is, if you're gonna do the deal, and especially if. Like I said, you know, they said they did, you know, they have always said holiday 2015, you know what I mean, exclusive, you know what I mean. But I thought they were just doing that loophole because it was coming to PC. You know, they were saying it like that, right. You know, because it was coming to PC. But then you think about it, for it to be announced before that it was going to the PS4 for sure, before your version even comes out a couple months, like, you know, like, goddamn, like, shit. Now, I will say this. If you were going to buy an Xbox One to play Tomb Raider, there's nothing out on the PlayStation 4, you know, this holiday season. I don't give a fuck how you spend it. It's not. And I don't think you may pop shit. Are you really, if you can afford, are you really going to wait a year? Like, you know what I mean? That, like, you know, I don't think a sane motherfucker, you know, would do that. You know, you may pop shit on these Twitter feeds and on Facebook. But if you can afford, if you were going to buy an Xbox One to play Tomb Raider, are you really going to wait a year?
No, and that's a great point, Z. Let's talk dollars, right? You say dollars make sense. Let's talk dollars for a minute. If let's say you're a PlayStation fanboy, like a lot of people in the comment section right now hating on me. Let's say you're one of those people, and you're like, screw this, I'm never going to buy an Xbox. This is ridiculous. I'll just wait for it to come out on PlayStation. Do you understand that your money's almost trivial? It doesn't make no sense. There's not enough of those crazy people out there to actually add up to the money that Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix wants to see come out of that. So if and when it does come over to PlayStation, Microsoft could very easily at this point, with the mistakes that have happened in the past couple of hours, say, listen, this is what we're going to give you. We're going to cut you this check. PlayStation faithful, even if you say the PlayStation faithful are going to buy this, you're only talking about maybe what, 100,000 people, maybe 200,000 people a year. It's a year. I mean, Z, we're not talking the PlayStation people that were giving me, you crap, worry, all of us shit that we were saying this is going to be exclusive. They were saying they were going to see it in 3 months. They're like, hey, PlayStation 4 in February. See you in February. We're going to play this all summer long. You know, to say that it's coming out a year later, a year. I mean, what the fuck even came out a year ago that you care about right now on any platform?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So realistically, this is really bad damage for the Microsoft PR. The PR train got hit today really bad. But as far as Microsoft getting their money still, getting their worth out of this, a year? Listen, man. And the other thing, too, is this is going to start a long line of branding Tomb Raider with the Xbox, just like Mass Effect, just like Bioshock. Bioshock and Mass Effect, I can't remember if it was a year or 5 years or what it was, but a year is as good as 10 in gaming. Let's be honest. Yeah. Batman came out 4 weeks ago. Nobody even cares. So what I'm saying is, if no one's talking about Batman, Rocksteady, big game, right? Trilogy ending. Not counting that other third one that was made by another company, the trilogy ending by Rocksteady, and nobody's even talking about it no more? Who's going to be talking about this a year from now after they've already played it and they've already, you know what we're going to do? On my channel, when I do launch it, I'm just going to do 8,500 episodes of Tomb Raider. And I'm going to send it to every pony's email for free. No, what I'm trying to say is literally it's just going to be so out there, so saturated that nobody's going to give a shit. So Microsoft's plan, I still think, is successful at the end of the day, because now let's look at it this way, Xbox fans, if you're listening, you got it for a year. It really was in question. It could have been 3 months, could have been 6 months. 12 months is a long ass time to talk about a game when we got all those games coming out next year. Not just Xbox exclusives, but you got a lot of multiplats coming out next year. Who's going to be talking about Tomb Raider? I mean, who could get that excited about that?
Yeah, you know what? I was, like I said, just thinking, but just for what we know as far as exclusives, you know, Microsoft. Well, you know what they know what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to knock it out of the park come Gamescom, just to put the Band-Aid on it. They're going to really have to go out there at Gamescom, and because we know, Quantum Break, we know looks amazing. Scalebound has going to have to, really be, because Kevin Love was really hyped that game. It's going to really have to, hold us with Crackdown. It's going to have to be post. For the first time, see the cloud and really see the cloud in action. they're gonna have to give us something else. We need another AAA. You know, I was thinking maybe on the lines of like a what do you call it, Battletoads game, and it looks like they're gonna announce Killer Instinct Season 3. But you know, but here's the thing though. What going by what Phil said, he said that because Xbox gamers were really up. People that they're into fighting, they were upset about the Street Fighter deal. He said he was gonna make it right with us. What do you think? Did you think that was the backwards compatibility when he was offering to make it right with us?
You think that was the gift?
I mean, I want a game. You know what I mean? I'm like, like eye for an eye, 2 for 2. You know what I mean?
That's a good question, Z, because we all did interpret that as a game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That they, there's rumor that they, imagine they go in and announce, or come out and do a Resident Evil deal, with next, gen Resident Evil exclusive, or maybe they, like I said, that website didn't know that YouTube channel didn't know. They were the ones who come out first and announced this deal instead of a year later, and they said also $40. They the ones that gave the price of $40. But imagine, and it's supposed to be the same leak rumor guy that said something about the PT demo, about the Silent Hill demo. Imagine they go out there and announce on stage, that they got the Silent Hill, exclusive, rights or whatever the case may be.
Well, I said it on Big Gamer Small Talk. I'll say it again since we're bringing it up. Phil Spencer came out and he had to hush the crowd down a week before E3 when the whole Silent Hill thing was coming out. It came from a reliable source when it came out, somebody that had called something in the past. So it's not like it was just some small nobody. This is somebody who's got a little bit of credibility. And now that they may have something locked down, they may mention something like that. But like you said, I'm going to say this. I'm with you, Z. If they come out and say one more time, if I don't hear exclusively locked up owned IP, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear time. I don't want time. Don't give me time DLC. None of that's like look at how it blew up in Sony's face. Everybody, we were all freaking out earlier in the year, and everybody was all freaking out about Call of Duty. That time DLC deal they did for $50 million or whatever they did it for, it doesn't matter if they did it for $2 million. It was a complete waste. Nobody gives a shit about that no more. It's old news. That's yesterday. Like I said, that's yesterday's playbook. That was Matrix playbook. That was old. Nobody cares about that anymore. We knew it was coming. How many people stood up and clapped? Just the faithful, just those few faithful.
But they got here's my thing though. They got all the money in the world. If you want to win this console race war, you got the resources to do it. Open that motherfucker. If you don't have the talent inside the building, Kojima just lost his job. Go buy him and his fucking team. Bring them on board. You know what I mean? They have the money to do this. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
And again, what Phil said before. Said before the Xbox brand was just little. We didn't get to go to the grown-ups table. We had our own little separate meetings. You're at the table with the big boys now. You know what I mean? Right. Surface is doing well. The Xbox, for whatever reason, I'm gonna say this again because maybe it may whenever you guys hit. When I did the video yesterday about the 1.4 million, I'm gonna say this, and that quote unquote 22 million, whatever Sony that is what you call sold to retail. Microsoft, Sony, and they don't get paid twice when you walk into the store and pick it up. No, they get their numbers. That's how they go. They get their numbers when they sell them to Best Buy, Target. It's left their warehouse. Check is in their hand. Fine. Give us, here's Best Buy. Give us 100,000 Xbox One. Here's a check for it. Cool. We send it. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna just send you tens of millions of dollars and shit on consignment. It doesn't work like that. You pay for it. You get your stock, and then they sell it to whoever. That's when the MPD comes around once a month, and get their data. That's who you know who bought the console. So if you really want to know how many consoles Sony sold to consumers, especially here in North America, you add the MPDs every month it's been out, and that would give you of what they sold, quote unquote. And it's still even with that, that's not an exact science because you had a lot of Walmart's for one hit. They didn't participate in the MPDs for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So it's still a gray area, give and take how many of 1,000. I mean, but that's how it goes. So you say, well, and those in quarterly things, those are for the investors. That's not for us fanboys. You wonder why is Microsoft adding hardware numbers to 360 and the Xbox? What are they trying to? No, that's not for us. That's for their investors. Well, Microsoft didn't do that last generation. They didn't have any other hardware last generation. It was just a 360.
That's right.
They stopped production on the original Xbox once the 360 came out. This is not me damaged because that's the truth. Those quarterly reports, they're not for the consumers or us fanboys. They are for their investors to attract other investors. That's, you know what I mean? So, you know, when you say the hardware department, you know what I mean? As long as the investors are not complaining about the breakdown, you're not going to see a breakdown. It's not for us. You know, that's why you have your little MP. That's why you think that even the MPD, that's even business side. They, you know, you got to wait to someone that pays for that shit every month to put out the exact numbers, you know? Before we log into the site and see the MPD, that's even a big business now. You can't even, you know, you gotta pay for that shit every month to see the exact sale figures, just yada yada yada. So all that, Microsoft, they only got 13 million shipped. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? It's like saying this. No, just because some of you guys leave this shit on my Twitter feed. Just hear me out through this rant. I want you guys to listen to what the fuck you're saying. It's like a store. Hey, and Microsoft, send me 600,000 consoles. All right. But they having problems, so they're not going to ask for that. They're not just going to, because like I said, they're not giving that to them. They're paying for that.
That's right.
You know, so they're not going to keep reing up on shit that they can't sell or they have problems selling. Prime example, you've seen all the articles of Sam's Clubs and this, that, and the other in the UK clearing their stock of the Wii U, you know, because they couldn't sell it. It's a big difference. Once you start reading articles that these stores are trying to clear their stock of the Xbox, then there's a problem. Then shit is not selling, you know? You know, like I said, like you motherfuckers is be bugged with some of the shit you guys be, you know, those are combined units. So you mean to tell me you think that you think there are people, I mean, don't get me wrong, the 360 is a great machine and it's still doing okay, you know, still selling, you know. But you don't think over 1 million of those were the Xbox Ones? You're bugging the fuck out.
Oh, yeah. No, you're delusional if you don't think that. The other thing is I'm going to reinforce what you're saying, Z, and I got specifics and examples that I know from my own life. When a company makes an order, okay, from Microsoft, give me 600,000 of those units, those are considered sold. Microsoft can count those as sold, okay, because the only way that company can actually send it back is filing Chapter 11. There's no way in God's green earth. Once you sell something, it's sold. And a lot of times, I'll tell you right now, I don't know, anyone who's listening who knows this knows I'm telling the truth. It happens a lot in the wine and liquor and the restaurant business. When you walk into your local liquor store, okay, and I know state to state things are different, okay, but in New York, when you walk into your local liquor store in New York and you see a stack high of Jack Daniels or a stack high of Grey Goose, that's already been pre-ordered and it's been paid to the distributor. That means that the distributor has sold it to the store. If that store can't sell Grey Goose, that's that store's problem. They got to do a sale and move it on out. That Grey Goose does not go back to the distributor. It can't go back. It
doesn't go back to the warehouse.
It's sold. It is gone. It is yours. The owner has the right to sell that Grey Goose liter for 1 red cent if he wants to. There's nothing stopping him. But it's his. It's no one else's, and he cannot return it. And, you know, that same thing goes for these products. Microsoft's not going to take something after it's been on your floor, tampered with, re-glued, retaped. They don't know what the fuck's going on with that. The only way they're going to take them back is with a court order, and a court order comes from Chapter 11. So anyone who doesn't understand that, they're out of their mind. They don't get that. So when Microsoft says we shipped them, they're sold. The other thing is this. Number 2 is what you just said. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago when we had this conversation, there's a good chance that out of 1.4 million, maybe half were the 360. Not today. Not today. Not on July 23rd, 2015, after all that hype and the buzz and 300,000 units were sold last month just because of the E3 back compat announcement and everything like that and the exclusives. That 1.4, 1.1 of that is easily Xbox Ones. Of course, I'm speculating, but it's I'm not that far off.
No, you're not. You think people were? When you look at the NPDs, I mean, how many 360 were sold last month? You know, that's right. Maybe 40,000, 50,000, or whatever the case may be. So just think about it again, and like I said, you guys get fixated on this VG chart. Microsoft hasn't released any worldwide sale. I mean, when they got to their first milestone of 10 million of 10 million consoles sold. Once they crossed that, they haven't released any more, worldwide figures. They're down by less than probably 500,000 here in North America alone. So this holiday season, like I said, Microsoft can gain a lot of ground, especially here in North America. Okay, Microsoft has never had a presence, never had a foothold in Japan, never.
Nope.
Going back to the OG Xbox, okay, never had a foothold in Japan. Okay, they always played second fiddle to Sony in Europe. We call it Sony land. Microsoft has always been number 2 in in Europe. I'm not talking about the UK. I'm talking about the all of Europe. But you got to realize this too. Microsoft, of course, last generation stomped shit out of Sony here in North America. They outsold them by like 25 million, some crazy shit like that. But what I'm saying, I said to say this, that those little countries, those little regions in Europe, they're North America alone outsells all those. You might got Spain, they may do 7,000 a week and this, that, and the other, all those little, like I said, North America is the biggest consumer of everything. All Microsoft had to do was take back North America. Again, we back in the race, we back in the ball game.
That's right.
I'm not saying those countries, they may not, the little, regions may not add up. I'm not saying, every little bit counts, but Microsoft is trying to win back. Don't get me wrong, they're trying to get a better foothold over there, in Europe, but they get back North America, they're back in the ball game. And what way to do that? You got Halo 5, you got Forza 6, you're getting the Gears this year, you're getting a Fable this year, for this year, so you got a Tomb Raider, So all that little bit, counts.
Yeah, it does.
Then you got the EA thing, the EA Access. They're promoting that shit heavily with the Madden bundles. Like I said, Mike, like I said, people, I should say this, they can't stand it. Maybe, like I said, the PlayStation 4, is it selling better than the Xbox One right now? Yes, it is. But you think about it, how much did they win by last month? 13,000. They won by 60,000, this month, thanks to the Batman bundle for Sony. And I'm not saying that was a bad business move. I told you guys that Batman bundle thing was going to sell. Sold over 120,000 units. Cool. Now, with that being said, though, but when Microsoft won last holiday, they outsold the PS4 by 800,000 units.
That's right.
So they can make that ground up within like 2 months. I'm telling you guys some real shit. Now, does any of that go in my pocket? No, this is a rebuttal what you guys been leaving on my videos and in my Twitter time. You know what I mean? No, that's combined. This, that. I'm like, what the fuck? And that shit, that's not sold to consumers. Where the fuck do you guys get this from? Sony doesn't know when someone walks in the store and buys a motherfucking PS4. That's the NPD's job. And they
like when
once a month.
When you walk out of GameStop with your PS4, did the guy stop you at the door? Be like, oh, hold on a second, Yoshida's on the phone. He want to thank you.
Yeah,
they have no idea what the fuck you're doing. They don't know what you're doing.
No, they don't. Like that again. They don't get paid up. And I listen. I say this shit to some of the dumbest. And I'm not to talk about it, but I tell you this shit. Just use your good God sense that God left you with. They don't get paid twice. They sell them to retail. Retail sells them to the consumers, okay? So Microsoft, they don't give a fuck. They got 20,000 Xbox One lined up in the stores. They don't care. Them shits was sold to retail. That's Best Buy's job to go out there and advertise and get people inside the store to go buy them. Prime example, when I was a lucrative drug dealer, I would go see Poppy in New York and I get me a half of 500 grams of cocaine, 600 grams of heroin. You think Poppy, I can take that shit back to Poppy, like Poppy, man, they don't like, I can't sell it, you know what I mean? Well, what's the problem? When you spend the money, you could take it back and say no. But that was up to me and my employees and my workers to get the product and move it on the street. Right. It's the same thing. You buy it, I'm gonna sell you, hey, Mooch, I got these shirts for sale. I'm gonna sell it to you at wholesale. Now you gotta go on your channel, you gotta promote the Big Game with Small Talk Pod. You gotta promote these shirts and get them, you gotta go out there and get them moving. Yeah,
you're not taking them back.
No, you know what I mean? We made, I might pay you to advertise, I might be, hey, you know what, Best Buy, we're gonna do a deal with Best Buy this week. They may work out little deals and shit that they do, but it doesn't work. They don't get paid twice, and they don't know. That's why the NPD is in business. Okay, if that's the case, Sony wouldn't subscribe and pay the NPD for the numbers every month. If they knew exactly when, they don't have time for that. Their thing is to promote to the investors. Hey, we got a good product they're selling. Yada 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 yada. You know what I mean? Now, if we're talking about somebody being funny with the numbers, that's been. What I'm Sony got sued over that shit when the PSP wasn't doing well. And, I guess the investors asked them for a specific number. And Sony, instead of giving them a specific number for what sold or what didn't sell, then they fudged the numbers together. And then Sony got in trouble for that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of giving them the PSP numbers like the investors asked them for, they gave them the PS2 numbers. That's what's called being funny with the numbers. But those quarterly annual reports, they're not for us. I mean, gamers is latching on this shit for some shit to talk about. But that's for their investors. Because you see, if it was just for games, you wouldn't see what Windows, this and that department, this, that. We don't give a fuck about that. No Nokia write-off and this, that, and that. The cell phone business. We don't give a fuck about none of that. Even when Sony released their shit, they talking about the movie department, CD sales, and this, that, and the other. We don't give a fuck. We just care about, what's going on with the gaming division. But like I said, it is what it is, though. But is anyone you want to add to this, Mooch? We can get the hell up out of here, man. Them jokes gonna piss me off.
I know it did get everybody's heat. All our heat up right now, man.
Hold on, before we got to do a question or two. Hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
while you're looking for a question, I'm going to mention this. The other thing Microsoft did make this. Let's remember why this whole thing came to fruition, though, is because Microsoft wanted this to go head to head with Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
So without Uncharted in play anymore, I mean, to be honest with you, I think this is just gravy for Microsoft. And that's why this is my look at it. Not today's information. Just Tomb Raider to me was the icing on the cake because we already had Halo. We got the Gears Ultimate. You got Forza. You know what I'm saying? And then the spring lineup is loaded. This was supposed to go head to head with Sony, and Sony definitely backed their shit right out. They knew, first of all, it probably wasn't ready, and number two, I don't think it could have compete. So Microsoft now has this other exclusive for a full year. It's icing on the cake. I just want to throw that out there while you're looking for a question.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Cage Raccoon said, "Fuck Tomb Raider." Will someone think of a sleeper hit known as Screen Ride?
Gotta go to that.
Cardo 979. Hey, NXTGen. Shout out to the whole Big Game of Small Talk podcast. The best community in gaming on the Xbox. I just wanted to say I don't give a damn that 20 is coming to the PS4. I'm just playing. I'm playing it in November this year. Good point. Good point. But and at the grand scheme of things, that is the most important thing that I don't have to wait or whatever. Like I said, if it's something, I've always said this. If it's something, I don't give a fuck if it's on the PlayStation first. If it's something like Shenmue 3, if that game's done right. Or whatever the case may be, and it comes out, if it's not coming to the Xbox, and if it comes out first on the PS4, if it's something that I want to play, I'm gonna buy. I'm not gonna wait a year and a half to get it. I am a gamer. Don't get me wrong. My console of choice, my preference is the game on the Xbox. My friends are there, Xbox Live. I love the controller. But at the end of the day, I am a gamer. I do own a PlayStation 4. If I want something that I want to play, I'm gonna play it.
Right.
I'm not going to wait, a year and a half. I'm not going to wait to play the guessing game. So you guys got, you got your question answered early. Like I said, that just pisses me off again.
Hey Z, I got a comment here on my Twitter. Guy that follows me all the time, Mike Morale. He says, a message to all Sony fanboys who follow me. Expect a lot of Rise of the Tomb Raider screenshots over the next year upon its release from me. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, you've got people like him, and I'm with him on that. You got a lot of people that are just going to be doing a ton of Let's Plays. This is still a huge plus for the Microsoft camp. The only negative is going to be the next 8 weeks of, and let me just throw this out there. Everybody knows the whole reason I'm with that Mooch says buy an Xbox One, buy American, is because you can see the biased bullshit that's going on with the media. The media didn't even wait 20 minutes after that shit was announced. IGN woke some people up in California, like, wake your lazy ass up at 9 a.m. over there. It's 12 o'clock in New York. And they announced the shit. They were out there. That one dude on IGN, his hair was still sticking up like he just stepped out of the dryer. He didn't even get up yet. He was like, IGN's reporting that PS4 is going to get Rise of the Tomb Raider. That they've announced that shit like that. But whenever anything comes out from Microsoft or anything comes out, anything monetarily, good numbers, good this or that, IGN reports it 24 hours later. This was about 24 minutes later. They had that shit up and posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
So a little more biased bullshit out there for anybody who's taking notes.
The Arch Angle Nexus is exactly what I'm talking about on Twitter. This is like a sports teams, and I feel like somebody gave up this play. The way it was done, it is what it is, man. Hans from New Jersey said, greatness has to wait some more. A whole year, man. Fuck that. Yet you Sony fuckboys are celebrating. I keep saying the same thing about you little kids. You asked for the wrong Xmas present. Good point. Like I said, you still got to wait for greatness, man. We ain't playing a waiting game over on the Xbox One, and I'm just and not making excuses for it. This, like I said, the way it was done, it was fucked up. It just seems dirty the way it is. It's like we was backdoored or something. You know what I mean? Like be like. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. See, I think what it's going to come down to is I'm really going to be paying attention to Gamescom. I think Phil Spencer is going to announce a total exclusivity after this fiasco. Do you think there's any chance of that, or is that just
Oh yeah, man.
wishful
Anything, money talk, bullshit walks. You know what I mean? I don't. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if they had a deal. Like I don't know. We don't know how these deals are made behind closed doors.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like maybe I don't know if Sony already had a deal in place with them with Square Enix. Like we don't know. But like I said, at the end of the day, money talks, bullshit walks. They can go in there and pull a Titanfall deal in the ass, and you know. But I'm just saying, if you're Microsoft, you know, like god damn, like they just like motherfucker just sneeze on your birthday cake. They ask you to blow the candles up. Chewing. I'm here. I done blow them out for you. Like, you know, like, God, this was a part of our marketing strategy. Like, you know, this wasn't done right. You know what I mean? This is not me damage control. What I'm saying is, you know, all of this shit. I'm playing this. I wouldn't have gave a fuck if it came out 6 months from now. I don't know. I'm playing. What Tomb Raider? Man, I ain't played that shit in 5 months. I don't give a fuck about no Tomb Raider, bro. I'm on this. You know what I mean? But the way that it was done, the way that it was announced before the game even comes out, This is what I'm talking about. It made it seem dirty, you know what I mean? And like Microsoft, these are the people you're in business with. Like I don't know, was it was a Japanese home cooked meal, some sushi or what? But god damn, because just think about it as far as games, and I'm being real here, you know, well not even games. I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna say this to you, Mooch. It seems like every time something positive comes out from Microsoft, it's always some bullshit. It never fails. Came out the great quarterly reports, Xbox Live, the Xbox is up 27%, service is doing well. As soon as they get some good news, here comes some off the wall shit, reports that this certain game is going to be 900p, and you know what I mean? There's always some bullshit, but now they're losing this whole resolution thing. You heard what Konami said about what's that PS16, the soccer game, that is going to be 1080p, 60 frames a second, thanks to the new dev kits and Windows 10 or some shit. You know what I mean? You know, the soccer game, the soccer game that came out last year was 720p with the Fox engine. You know what I mean?
Nobody bought it.
Yeah, but the new soccer game is going to be 1080p, 60 frames a second, and also too the Metal Gear game. You know, so the resolution thing is going away. You know, what else now? You know. The Xbox One, like I said, is selling well, doing well, and then you got with this bullshit. Like I said, this was a big game for Microsoft this holiday season. I'm not trying to downplay that, you know what I mean? But the way it was done, it was just like horrible. Like god damn, who would makes this type of an announcement 2:32 in the afternoon, on Japanese time, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. Like who the fuck does this, yo? Like that was crazy. I don't know, like I said, what deals they had in place. I'm quite sure they couldn't announce prior to the PlayStation 4 version. So until we sold this, so we had, this, how you say, this amount of time, promotional rights to the game or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I know that deal wasn't up like that. Oh, okay, on July 23rd, you guys can go out there. Like the game ain't even out yet. I think somebody lost, Japanese motherfuckers crazy. I think somebody lost their job over that motherfucker, something, and then start running his mouth.
Something's not right, Z. Somebody's heads are rolling. Microsoft's lawyers got to have picked up the phone at some point and said, this is not what we talked about. Should never have mentioned it at this point. And I'll tell you right now, when you come down to it, you're going to have a very large table in a very large CEO's office, and you're going to be sitting there, and somebody's going to say, listen, so you broke our contract. We're willing to not go forth with any other pressing issues as long as we make this exclusive, and we're even willing to pay you this number. The guy's going to look at it and go, that number's half the price of what we're going to make. Yeah, it's also half of what you probably would have lost in court. Like, sign that shit, and we'll just we'll make it exclusive, and I'll have Aaron Greenberg tweet it out.
Hey, Mooch, you fucking man, that'll be sick, right? I know somebody fucking jumped the gun on that motherfucker. They was talking Mandarin. Yep. You know what I mean? Fuck Mandarin down that motherfucker at a Japanese meeting, man. I'm telling you, man. But anyway, but like I said, you know what? Could you imagine the backlash? Microsoft was always going in, throwing their money around. This, that, I would be sitting here fucking dying, clapping my fucking asshole.
It too. It would be too. It would be a lot of backlash on that too, because they'd be like, "Oh, look at Microsoft, the big mean boss going in there and demanding that." throwing that money around,
flexing their muscles, and this, that, and the other. You know, that's not good. That's not what is good for the overall good of gaming. But what Sony does is okay.
Sony can do whatever. They can do whatever they want. They
got Street Fighter 5, and nobody said, ain't nobody said shit. Nobody threatened to rape nobody and none of them shit. Like, that's the difference between an Xbox gamer and them weirdos over there on the play. Like, it's a lot of them. I'm not saying all Sony gamers, but when Capcom and Sony came out and announced the deal for Street Fighter, ain't nobody threatened nobody over Twitter. Ain't nobody threatened to rape. Anybody threatened to rape Chun-Li? No, these motherfuckers threatened the actors of Tomb Raider with rape. Rape. And they said, "Bitch, we will rape you." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And not once did Sony come out and denounce that type of behavior either. Not once. But like I said, it is what it is. But anyway, this is Mooch. Well, that's Mooch. I'm Next Gen, and thank you. This was just just shooting shit behind the scenes. Look out for the big game of Small Talk this weekend. We may be talking about this. If something else doesn't change between now and then, it might be getting announced as exclusive. Microsoft might get the hit. Bill might attend this meeting. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Y'all taking my money and it's gonna hit with the back door? Oh, hell no. They hit them off with all types of sanctions and shit from the UN. Shit, them motherfucking niggas drop that bomb on y'all ass again.
He said, my neck and my back, but I'll settle out of court for $20 in exclusive.
Take this $50,000, man. Like, they got to get Microsoft something back.
They got to. I'm telling you.
Jesus, like, that was.
Wait, once this game comes out, we get to read about all this shit. I want to read about what the hell. Something's got to break after this comes out, man. This is so much espionage bullshit, bias crap. It's nobody ever wants to make it like a Japanese company's favoring Japan over Microsoft. Nobody wants to talk about that shit, so we won't talk about it. But don't think you ain't thinking about it, because it's real. It's real.
But this right here, I've got to be with Mooch on this one. I got to put my tinfoil hat on this one. This was definitely a conspiracy theory right here. But we out of here. We catch you guys later on in the week. Bang bang.
Be easy.
Mm-hmm.